Seeking satisfaction. It seems, in essence, like something that's quite simple, but oftentimes the most simple things can be the most difficult. I think satisfaction can be very complex. Satisfaction can often be tied to personal expectations, our ideas of growth, and also our perspectives. Sometimes, paradoxically enough, I think the pursuit of satisfaction is what leads to greater dissatisfaction. I think there are a couple of reasons why we may be dissatisfied. And when I'm talking about dissatisfaction, I'm talking about every single phase of our life. I think at this point in my life, my opinion might evolve, but I think that we can never be 100% satisfied. And I think there are three reasons for this. The first is this concept called the hedonic treadmill, which basically means that human beings have a tendency to adapt to circumstances very fast, whether they be good or bad. But in this case, I'm talking about good circumstances. In this phenomena or a concept called the hedonic treadmill, it means that basically once a goal is achieved, the sense of satisfaction that comes along with achieving this goal, reaching this destination, it's quite fleeting. It's quite temporary. Because what happens when we achieve this is very often we try to set out something new to achieve. So we achieve this, we have a little bit of satisfaction, but now onto the next destination, onto the next goal. So this is the concept of the hedonic treadmill. Basically, we have a tendency to adapt to circumstances even if they're very good. And when we adapt, then we want them to be even better. The way I think of it is like it's like a whack-a-mole. The mole is basically that destination. So you hit it and then another one pops out. You hit it, another one pops out. And then you might say to yourself, oh, 100% this is the last one. Once I hit this, it's definitely sorted. I'm definitely going to be 100% satisfied. Once you hit it, what happens? Another one pops out. And I am also guilty of doing this always. I remember many points in my life, I thought that everything was maybe 98% fine and there's a remaining 2%. Once this is sorted, then I'll be 100% satisfied. However, that has never been the case. As soon as that 2% or whatever I perceived as that remaining 2% was reached, then there'd be another metaphorical mole coming out. And I think it's very hard for us to counteract this because I think it's also our nature, this ability for us to just kind of adapt to circumstances. So it's a good thing because as human beings, we're also able to adapt to bad circumstances, but at the same time, it's not the best because when we adapt to good circumstances, we always set our eyes on something better, thinking that the 100% satisfaction is in that next destination, like the whack-a-mole kind of concept. Another reason I think we might be dissatisfied is because reality very rarely aligns with expectations. Oftentimes when we think that, it's going to be all good once we have this, our minds are oftentimes dramatizing and romanticizing the destination. But when we get there, it can often be quite underwhelming. And what's even worse is that when we get there, we don't really have anything else because our whole life for a period of time has been set on achieving this, thinking that our ultimate satisfaction is here. Once we realize that satisfaction is not there, we can sometimes be even more despondent because then we're trying to find that purpose, we're trying to find that meaning, and it's very elusive. It's almost illusory. We can't really find it. And I think a final reason this is one that I'm very guilty of, it's comparison. Oftentimes there's comparison on a primary level, which is comparing our current circumstances with those of our own circumstances, maybe a certain time period back, maybe a year back, months ago, decades ago. We're comparing. Maybe we're comparing how we are financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, how we were now, and thinking that, okay, it was way better back then. The memories were way better back then. Oftentimes, I think this is another one. We're comparing with people who we think are in the same boat as us, maybe in terms of their cultural background or their age or demographics. And we are comparing this subset of people with ourselves. And we're thinking, how come they seem to have stuff in order? How come everything seems to be aligned for them? How come it's not really aligned for me? How come things are always better for them, but it's not better for me? But remember, oftentimes, what we perceive is not really what's true. We see oftentimes people going really well, but we don't actually know what's going on inside their minds. We actually don't know if they're also doing the same comparison game. Oftentimes, I think when I'm comparing with others, they're oftentimes comparing with me. So I think that's another reason for tremendous dissatisfaction. I think that the main way in which we can be more satisfied is actually, it sounds very simple, but I think it's to basically recognize and appreciate what we already have and know that You will maybe not ever be 100% satisfied, but that's okay. Because as long as you're satisfied and appreciative of what you have now and you're fully present, then you're appreciating things as they come and go. Whether they be good, you're appreciating them for their lessons. Whether they be bad, you're appreciating them for their lessons. So this is something, I think it's easier said than done, but this is something that I'm trying to train myself to do. I'm just trying to appreciate what I have now and be grateful for what I have now. And remember that if I have my eyes set on a destination, the journey is also part of that destination. That the journey is something that I need to be fully present in. And when I have my eyes set on this destination, I'm no longer thinking I'm going to be 100% satisfied when this happens, because I know that there's a whole whack-a-mole thing. I think that when I reach this destination, that's okay. I might not be 100% satisfied. Actually, I'm quite certain I won't be 100% satisfied, but the journey of being present is what made it very good, because I recognize and appreciated what I have throughout. I know when I reach that destination, I'll likely have other goals, and that's also fine. But I'm just trying to remind myself that it's okay to not be 100% satisfied. I don't think you can be 100% satisfied by seeking things out there. I think you're more likely to be satisfied when you, in essence, are grateful for what you have at this moment. You appreciate the good with the bad, and you recognize and appreciate. I want to hammer this point home. I think it comes when you recognize and appreciate everything that you already have. You recognize and appreciate the circumstances and all the lessons that come along with it. I hope this reflection was insightful for you. Please take on board whatever you found useful and maybe disregard what you did not find useful. And till then, take care. Bye.